So today, first, I'm Jasmine. I'm from the Department of Advertising, first year master's student, and today I just want to talk about the basics of what advertising is, what its purpose is, and also its ability to influence. And I just want to first start off by talking about what advertising is. Can anyone give me an example of an advertisement or an ad? Yes.
The Old Spice guy?
Yes, exactly. A spokesperson, yes. Any other examples of an advertisement? Maybe not specific, a type of advertisement.
The billboard you
Yes.
see.
Exactly, a billboards. Any others?
Jingles.
Jingles, exactly. Those are very popular. So like, yes, so jingles, billboards, Old Spice guy, also Kia sponsorship of the NBA, celebrity endorsements, online display ads. These are all ads, right? Would anyone consider this backpack to be an ad though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You would? Why?
That's
because it has a Nike on it.
A logo, right?
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that when we're having a conversation just among us, I'm the only one studying advertising, we all agree that this is an ad, right? But within my discipline, whether that's industry or in academia, there's disagreement right now on what advertising is. People say that it has to be paid, it has to persuade, it has to go through mass media, and I disagree with all of that. I feel like a brand's social media channels, I feel like a brand's a YouTube blogger that's recommending a product, whether they're paid to do it or not, it's all advertising. And the reason why is because there's an ever-changing media landscape, there's technological advancements that are happening now and in the future, and for that reason, we need to adopt a broader definition of what advertising is. So currently, the current definition of advertising is a paid, mediated form of communication with the intent to persuade. But I believe that advertising is a communication of a branded idea through available media channels or consumer touchpoints with the potential or intent to influence. So not necessarily that you're intending to influence, but like, for example, those YouTube bloggers, when they're recommending a product and you're influenced by it. There's this really popular example of, there was this sweet potato pie that's being sold in Walmart by like Patti LaBelle, and like no one was really buying it, and then this guy decided to create a video singing how much he loved her pies, and the sales went through the roof. And to me, that's advertising. It's like, by adopting this definition, you can accommodate for like people co-creating. It includes the consumer as a creator of the advertising message. And just to move on, I next want to talk about what the purpose of advertising. Can anyone tell me what they feel like advertising's purpose is or its intent in our society?
to promote a product.
Correct. Any other ideas of what its purpose is?
To make something be on your mind as much as possible.
Correct, and I'm going to get to that. So it's like, as a tool, it's like to persuade you to buy or sell a product or service, right? That's just the kind of basic definition that everyone agrees upon. But it's like even more so as an institution within American society, advertising serves to reinforce consumer capitalism. It reinforces some socially prescribed norms or stereotypes that permeate our society. It does all these things, especially if you look at advertising as an institution. Because not only is it just selling a product or a service, it's also selling an idea with that. And oftentimes, you know, and advertisers, their sole responsibility is to persuade you or influence you in some way, right? Because they want you to, I mean, inevitably it's about money and they want you to buy their product or service, right? So you have, for example, Always is a feminine product brand. And they have this Like a Girl campaign, which is pretty awesome. You have these young girls of all different backgrounds talking about these gender stereotypes about not being able to throw well or perform well in comparison to boys. And you're like, that's a wonderful campaign that I can stand behind. But inevitably, that brand Always is co-opting feminism in the sense, because despite the fact that it's an awesome campaign, and yes, even as an advertiser, understanding this, I can stand behind that brand and I still purchase the product. You do know that what they're also doing is trying to influence you to consider them or think about them as women anyway the next time we go and buy their product. Also, for the last part of the discussion, I want to talk about this this idea that Nick brought up about just thinking about them. Just think about the product, not necessarily actually have a behavior of going to buy it, but think about it and have it in your consideration step. Because now what advertisers have the ability to do is deliver the message consciously and subconsciously where we're not even aware of it. There are things such as the mere exposure effect where, say it's a commercial and you decide to go to, you decide to look at your phone, so you're not consciously attending to the ad. But there is an opportunity for that ad or that advertising's message to influence you in some way that you don't even realize. And you don't even realize it when you go to the store and you're like, man, they don't have my bread, I gotta choose a new bread. You see all the breads on the aisle, you're like, that brand right there looks familiar, I'm gonna change. You don't even know why. And that's advertising working in ways that we don't really understand. I think my biggest takeaway for this, and what I hope that we can all take from this discussion, is just that when we do see ads, to consciously attend to them as much as we can. Also realizing that we're bombarded with hundreds of ads today, especially when you adopt the definition of advertising as just being this branded Nike backpack. And just consciously attending to them, being aware of all the ads that we encounter, and also realizing what else, aside from the product or service that they're selling, what else is this brand trying to say? What social norm or stereotype is it trying to reinforce? And yeah.